I feel like we have a really diverse set of films this year. And the great thing is, you might be making a drama, but then you get to work on a comedy, you get to work on a documentary, right? You help each other out. And because you're working on different kinds of films, you really get that interesting experience of, what's it like to work on a film with actors that are cracking jokes all the time, right?
It's good, I think, having that group, because we can be honest with each other too. Because initially, the film I was making, I couldn't flesh it out. And I was telling them stories about when I used to do door to door and how funny it was. And they were like, yeah, you should do that as a movie. That's way better.
The film itself addresses the idea of how technology sort of conflicts with our identity. And then in this film, it asks, what if we were the technology? How would we interact on a day-to-day basis?
So the title of my film is called Cindy, and she's just sharing what she experiences as an LGBTQ queer woman and the lack of positive, accurate representation of what she identifies as.
When I wrote the story, it's a personal thing, and I just wrote whatever I want. But when I considering about the actors and the characters of them, I need to figure out the way how to make them sharp and make them outstanding and make them easily to be understood by the audience.
I thought documentary is easier because you go out there, you shoot, and you kind of put that together and that becomes your story, right? But turns out to be completely different, and people are so much different in front of camera too, right? So it's very hard to make it what you initially thought you were gonna come up with.
I think that everyone had trial and error. It's they had this envision in mind, a specific angle or something, but we always end up moving the camera or redoing it because there's so many you never know until you're there where the sunlight comes in from, where the lights come in, all of the space that you use. There's always you always end up changing it somehow.
You start off and you're sort of stumbling a little bit and everyone's trying to figure out the equipment and everyone's trying to understand, but then you do take after take after take, and then there's that moment, it's almost like an orchestra coming into tune together where everyone's going at the same pace and you have that sort of magical moment where everything's coming out perfectly and everyone's moving together and it works sublimely.
Every single film set you meet all these different people that director has coordinated with, right? So we have 6 different film sets. I met tons of different actors and their friends and the people that come onto that set to help, and you definitely make a lot of connections.
Because this isn't a group, it's really helpful. If you're working alone, it can be really weird to, it's your own ideas in your own head. But here you have 5 other people, so the people to help each other bounce ideas how does this sound, what is this like? I think that helps a lot, that this isn't a group setting.
I'm the kind of person that believes in the only way you're going to learn is by working. So, it really pushes you in that environment, get down in the mud, get your hands dirty and pick up the equipment and make something with it. And that is what I think is so great about the Unsung program, because you're not just working on your own film, you're working on each other's. So you're working on 6 really fast.